Jenny can understand you as she had spent her most of the time with you. She was concerned about your mood, but you just shrugged about the thought. You wanted to share with her about that you met Jungkook. She will protect you, but you can't tell her it was also your fault for not hiding your emotions well, that she felt your mood wasn't good. She looked at you like she can able to see through you. Wouldn't be Jungkook the same? No. 5 years ago, you lost all your dignity and begged him to see you. You even lowered your body to beg, but the final divorce contract still fell in front of you. You had lost your sense of propriety in front of him again. You had lost your standard. You need to be calm. To you, that man was already a stranger. Are you out of your mind? That man was no one to you. Now, Jenny is worried if anyone bully you, she is so ready to throw punch. Your phone vibrated. Miss Eva, I'm really sorry for wasting your time. How about we meet again tonight? It's still in that restaurant. I will treat you to dinner. Tonight, your eyes wandered and then replied her that you can't get time tonight as you are going to overwork. She make an appointment apart from working overtime. You will cooperate with her for the rest of your day. She is embarrassed as she didn't arrange it and you came there for nothing. As you recently started company, she told that she pushed the business card to the man. He should take care of your business in the future. Diane will help you to recommend her surroundings, but your heart beats skip when you hear the name of man. She had pushed the business card of yours, but you thanked her anyway. You put the phone aside the table and pinched the space between eyebrows. In the afternoon, you wanted to go nearby canteen to eat, but someone came to notify you that Choi Bhomgyo was in trouble. You recalled the cold young man's appearance. Go and check the information and see Choi Bhomgyo's address. We will go through and take a look. Jenny immediately checked the information documents and found the address. Originally, you wanted to go by yourself, but Jenny didn't let you go alone. So you both take the taxi over that the area is poor area. Moreover, there are often fierce people coming and going. So the driver suggested not to go there, but you told him the reason to go there and driver drove the place warning to be careful there. Jenny is worried hearing there will be some unknown person and the area don't allow the person who looked noble. You both couldn't call someone. It was very likely that both would be beaten out. After arriving place, driver uncle once remind you to not go in, but you have to so. He lastly give best of luck. You both walked inside the area and then you stood on the street. Jenny was also wondering. You took off the coat. She was stunned. What are you doing? You also signaled her to take off her coat and rubbed the clothes until they were wrinkled. As this is the demolition area and people will treat you if they saw people dressing well. After that, both of you removed the makeup. People can easily bully in this area and no one will come to sport. So you both have to look after own. Although both of you removed the makeup, the temperament on bodies clearly didn't match with the current situation and happened to attracted a lot of attention. They stared at two women very unfamiliarly. Jenny trembled under their gazes as you tried to be brave and walked over to a hunchback old man beside. You tried to ask the house of cold young guys, but people there thought that you both came to bully Bhomkyo. Jenny tried to explain, but one of little boy angrily roared at both of you. He was angry and suddenly reached out his hand to push you. Hey, Ryan! Before Jenny could react, little boy pushed you hard, making you fall down, and the pieces of glasses shattered Pyrus into your hands. You really didn't expect a little boy to have so much strength and didn't expect him to suddenly push. You was wearing high heels, so when the little boy pushed you like that, your entire body fell uncontrollably onto the floor, and the environment there wasn't good as bits of wood, and glasses immediately pressed by your hands, and it immediately make blood your hands. Jenny cried out in shock, "It's bleeding." She quickly squatted down to help you up. She was so angry and tried to argue back. Their people are so fierce and unreasonable. It's because some rich people came to bully them. That's why they protected themselves being violent. You slowly stood up with the help of Jenny. Your palm was in great pain and your butt was numb from the fall, but you endured the pain. Someone came to help you. How can you casually push people? You are not allowed to do this in the future. One of young girl scolded little guy and asked you to help. She tried to explain other people that you two are definitely not type of person who came to harm them. Later on, that girl treated your wound and led you the way of Bobyo's house, but unfortunately you couldn't meet him because his father was so mad. Their living conditions wasn't good. It's said that Bobyo's parents was in love, then married each other, but later on their economy problem broke their family. His mother divorced and married with some rich man, leaving her ex-husband and son. That's why Bomgyo's father started to drink. He was handsome man, but after love affair and wife's betrayal made him short-tempered, and sometimes he even beat his son. And Bomgyo's father became addicted to alcohol cause of this. He took loan and couldn't pay back in time. Their life became miserable. Bomgyo was cold because he was a sensible person. Before he saw his parents' ruined relationship, that's why his art was strange and attractive. You thought that he was motivated by the environment, but you didn't expect that young girl explained about his situation. Even you both came to see him, he will not match you in that situation, and his father was losing his temper. That's why you and Jenny couldn't match Bomgyo. Since you have to work overtime, you didn't waste time there and went back. Surprisingly, you saw the same driver uncle's taxi parked at the same place as he was concerned about two little girls going inside the ruler place. Good peoples are still around. He sincerely sent you two back to the company. You thanked him thoughtfully. You couldn't eat anything because you couldn't hold chopsticks. Your hand was injured and you didn't want to treat since that young girl already treated you there. So you directly came to the company and sat to work. Jenny was worried about you. As you sat there in a daze, office door pushed open, revealing a man with a helpless eyes staring down at you. Why did he come here? You were stunned and then thought for a moment before looking at Jenny beside. She immediately took the documents to cover her face and coughed lightly. This big mouth, she must have told Sokjin that you're injured. She smiled uncomfortably. I didn't say, I only told Rowoon. She was embarrassed. How could she have guts to directly told Sokjin? That's why she chose this method. Brother, you stood up and smiled. Why are you here? I have to work overtime here. Unfortunately, I cannot greet you. Do you think I am here to greet you? He walked around the table and grabbed your wrist. Go home. Your expression changed. No, I have to stay and work overtime tonight. You are already so injured, yet you still want to work overtime. His expression darkened and looked at you unhappily. I started a company to settle you down in country, not to let you be so careless. You don't even care about your own injuries. Brother, I am really fine. You wanted to pull back your hand, but he tightened. Cancel overtime tonight. Come home with me or go to the hospital. Your temper was little stubborn as you didn't want to go, but he pulled your hand and walked forward. Brother, let go of me first. He acted as if he didn't hear and pulled you out. Jenny quickly packed your things and chased out. She smiled and handed your bag to Sokjin and ran inside the company, pretended not to see your murderous gaze. Jenny noticed the group of people was gathered together near the window of discussing about the matter. Suddenly, Kim Group's director show up like their boss provoked. The way he pulled you and the aggressive expression on his face was surprisingly unexpected for the women. So they just mocked as you had told them to work overtime, but you had leave first. But then Jenny strictly told them to work because she will can't there. Because of your hands was injured, you can't work. If the colleagues are not convinced, they can pack their things and get lost. Jenny was extremely mean because she had heard them bad mouthing about you. Cause of her position, no one dared to talk back with her and started to do work. The night was cold, like as always. The vast seaside villa was silent. The sound of the sea breeze and the waves crashing against the shore could be heard one after another. He came just taking bath and sat on the sofa with phone in his hand, staring intently. The phone displayed the WeChat interface. He opened the message Tayon sent him. It was the name card that you pushed to him. After he opened the name card, he looked at your personal information for a long time, but he didn't add this person to his list. The nickname on the document was your British name, Ava. Your profile picture was a delicate shell. The hand holding the shell was a pair of pure and white and slender hands. He was very familiar with these hands. Those hands had been held in his palm countless times 5 years ago. They had once cut his skin. He closed his eyes. He couldn't help but extend his hand to add. After coming back from the afternoon, he sat there like a madman for a long time, but still didn't have the courage to add that woman. As his aunt said, 5 years has passed. People will probably no longer be the same as before. Moreover, if he added, would you not accept it? Never knew that he would be so conflicted when doing things. He frowned and put the phone on the table. He felt a little pain in his throat as he let out a low groan. John Jungkook, are you possessed? This woman left your life 5 years ago. She left so decisively. 5 years has passed. Things had changed a long time ago. He picked up his phone again and stared at the WeChat interface. As he narrowed his eyes dangerously, just when he wanted to leave your account, his fingers accidentally pressed the add button. For a moment, his heart began to beat wildly. He was stunned for a moment, then finally followed his heart and directly sent a friend invitation. His heart was like a fire that fell on the dry grassland. Like a star, it immediately soared to sky. 1 second, 2 seconds. He held his phone nervously and waited for 10 minutes but didn't get any response. His expression changed slightly, then cursed in low voice. This woman wouldn't know that this account was his, so she don't want to add him. He seemed to have gone mad as he got up and grabbed the car keys, but after walking a few steps, he stopped again and called Minho. Get me a few WeChat accounts within 5 minutes. What? Minho thought that he had misheard his unreasonable request and couldn't react for a moment. Don't you understand human language? Jungkook replied unhappily. After Minho agreed, other party directly hung up. Minho was stunned hearing busy sound. Why did young Master John need so many WeChat accounts in the middle of the night? When did the company develop a new business? Why didn't he know at all? However, Jungkook's irritated voice was like a bomb on fire, so he didn't dare to say anything and immediately went to work for Jungkook. After 5 minutes later, Jungkook finally received WeChat accounts. He sneered and called again. You are too slow. That hung up the phone, making one speechless. Jungkook opened his notebook and logged into WeChat. Minho helped him apply for more than 10 WeChat accounts. Although he didn't know where he got them, Jungkook could still use them. He logged into the first account, then add your account. He waited for 10 minutes on each account. When the other party didn't respond, he changed his account again. This time, he learned his lesson and entered the verification information. You are really designer. He almost spent all for those accounts but got nothing. This man was a little crazy. What was that woman doing? He grabbed his phone and looked at it. It was already past 10 o'clock. Are you asleep? Impossible. It was not even time for you to sleep. He called Minho again. Young master, do you have any orders? He was working, but this man had to disturb him. Time to time, he managed to get almost 15 plus accounts today. What was for that? Let me ask you. Jungkook's voice was cold. What can a person do at 10 o'clock at night? Minho was confused by this random question. Young master, what do you mean? Jungkook lit a cigarette, the smokes were covering his handsome face. I will answer if you ask me a question. Minho was shocked. At 10 o'clock, maybe he went to sleep. Did you really go to sleep? Then it seemed that he would have to wait until tomorrow morning. But why did he feel that the women didn't sleep that early? Minho didn't know who the person is, so he guessed it might be a woman. So he suddenly sat the possibility. If she didn't sleep at 10 o'clock, she could still do a lot of things. Jungkook frowned. What is it? Sensing that Jungkook was really curious about this topic, Minho told all the answers he could think of. Young master, based on my normal deduction, 10 o'clock was the time for resting, but the young people in big cities didn't sleep that early. So, at this time, they either do things at night or work overtime, or the family members were taking care of the children and coaxing them to sleep. Oh, or you are living a family life or making additional. Minho subconsciously blurted out the last sentence. Jungkook frowned and narrowed his eyes dangerously. Live? For some reason, Minho felt a hint of killing intent in his voice. What was going on? Although Jungkook had been gloomy all these years, his emotions were still stable, but tonight, why was he so irritable? Young master, what happened? Answer my question. Are you telling the truth? Minho blushed about 90%. So that person didn't reply to your message and was living a life.